In certain circumstances, an abortion becomes necessary to safeguard the health and life of the pregnant individual, a fact supported unequivocally by medical professionals. Pregnancy carries inherent risks, especially in the United States, which has one of the highest rates of maternal mortality among developed nations. The criteria for medically necessary abortions are extensive and encompass various medical specialties, according to the American Medical Association. These situations can include early rupture of the amniotic sac, posing a significant risk of infection or sepsis, as well as placental abruption, where the placenta detaches prematurely from the uterine wall. This condition can lead to severe bleeding, potentially resulting in cardiac arrest, kidney failure, or even miscarriage. Although 10% to 20% of pregnancies end in miscarriage, many do not necessitate medical intervention. However, certain cases may require procedures similar to those used in abortions to manage complications. Incomplete miscarriages can endanger the pregnant individual's life due to substantial blood loss or infection. CNN legal analyst Steve Vladeck emphasized that the recent ruling in favor of the Biden administration on the Idaho abortion law represents a significant but temporary victory. The Biden administration had challenged Idaho's near-total abortion ban, and the Supreme Court's decision temporarily reinstated the district court's injunction against the ban. Vladeck pointed out that the Supreme Court's intervention by bypassing the federal appeals court and freezing the district court's injunction was seen as hasty. The latest reporting suggests that the court may now allow the litigation to proceed through the normal appellate process, returning the injunction on emergency abortions in Idaho while the case continues at the Ninth Circuit. This would be a major win for the Biden administration in the short term, Vladeck noted. However, the underlying lawsuit will continue, potentially returning to the Supreme Court in the future. Since Idaho implemented its abortion ban, more residents are seeking abortion services in neighboring states, according to the Guttmacher Institute, a pro-abortion rights research organization. Data shows a significant increase in out-of-state patients from Idaho across states bordering Idaho from 2020 to 2023. Utah, Idaho residents accounted for 5% of abortions in Utah in 2023, up from 2% in 2020. Oregon, Idaho residents made up 3% of abortions in Oregon last year, compared to none in 2020. Washington State, more Idaho residents sought abortions in Washington than in any other neighboring state, with consistent numbers in 2020 and 2023. This trend extends beyond Idaho's borders. States neighboring those with strict abortion laws, such as Texas and Oklahoma, also experienced similar increases. In 2023, nearly 3/4 of abortion patients in New Mexico, which borders these states, traveled from elsewhere. According to Guttmacher, over 171,000 people crossed state lines for abortions in 2023, more than double the number 3 years prior. South Carolina and New Mexico saw the largest increases in out-of-state patients, with jumps of 37 and 33 percentage points, respectively. For the second time in as many years, a significant Supreme Court ruling on abortion has been prematurely disclosed to the public. The court's decision, which addresses a pivotal abortion case, was inadvertently made public ahead of schedule. This incident echoes a similar occurrence from 2 years ago when Politico obtained an early draft of the court's opinion that ultimately overturned Roe v. Wade. Remarkably, the leaked document closely resembled the final opinion eventually released by the court weeks later. A mistakenly posted opinion from the Supreme Court revealed a 6-3 decision allowing emergency abortions in Idaho to proceed temporarily while the case unfolds. The document, inadvertently uploaded to the Supreme Court's website and reviewed by Bloomberg, detailed the justice's decision to block Idaho's abortion ban in cases where a pregnancy poses serious risks to a woman's health. Justice Elena Kagan, in a concurring opinion, emphasized that the Supreme Court's ruling would prevent Idaho from enforcing its abortion restrictions under circumstances where a woman's health is at stake. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson also weighed in, stating that she disagreed with dismissing the case and described the decision as a delay rather than a victory for pregnant patients in Idaho. The Supreme Court's accidental disclosure provided insight into ongoing legal battles over reproductive rights, highlighting divergent views among the justices on how such cases should be adjudicated. The significant development unfolded in the ongoing legal battle over abortion rights, as an erroneously published Supreme Court opinion briefly indicated a potential shift in policy regarding emergency abortions in Idaho. According to Bloomberg News, the court's unexpected move suggests a temporary victory for the Biden administration, signaling a retreat from its earlier stance freezing an injunction against Idaho's near-total abortion ban. If the reports are accurate, this represents a notable reversal by the Supreme Court, remarked Steve Vladek, CNN Supreme Court analyst and professor at the University of Texas School of Law. The court appears poised to allow the litigation to proceed through regular channels, reinstating the injunction on emergency abortions in Idaho pending further appeals to the Ninth Circuit. The implications are significant both legally and politically. By allowing the lower court's injunction to stand temporarily, the Supreme Court's action avoids an immediate decision on a contentious issue that could have had far-reaching political consequences, especially in an election year. Democrats, who view abortion rights as a pivotal campaign issue, had been preparing to leverage any adverse ruling in Idaho's favor to galvanize voter support. The White House had been bracing for a potential ruling against the Justice Department's lawsuit challenging Idaho's abortion restrictions, underscoring the high stakes involved. As the Supreme Court nears the end of its term, the decision to revert to standard legal proceedings diffuses immediate tensions while allowing the broader legal challenge to progress. The Supreme Court's nuanced approach reflects its cautious handling of sensitive issues amid shifting legal landscapes and heightened political scrutiny. The Supreme Court appears to be leaning towards allowing abortions in medical emergencies in Idaho, according to a document briefly posted in error on the court's website Wednesday. Bloomberg News reported that the document indicated a majority decision to dismiss the appeal. This accidental release is highly unusual for the Supreme Court, which typically tightly controls the timing of its opinions. The case in question is considered one of the most significant of the current term, coming just before the July 4th holiday. A spokesperson for the Supreme Court confirmed that a document was uploaded inadvertently and briefly to their website. Patricia McCabe emphasized that the official opinion has not yet been released and will be issued in due course. If dismissed, the Supreme Court decision would uphold a ruling from the full Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, which supported the Biden administration's stance. The case centers on Idaho's strict abortion law, which includes an exception only for the life of the pregnant woman. The Biden administration argued that federal law mandates hospitals to perform abortions in cases involving the health of the pregnant woman. Both the Department of Justice and the White House have declined to comment on Bloomberg's report and the premature document release, awaiting the official Supreme Court opinion.